Hello, welcome back to the Friends of Zeus podcast. We are up to episode 232 this
Wow.
week. I know, right?
I mean,
Do this.
Zeus never, I mean, it's Zeus never makes any comments about this, but I feel like we need to acknowledge that's a lot of episodes.
Yeah. We're building them up, and honestly, we're not making any money off this. So this is mostly just based, and we really enjoy each other's companies, and
And
we
it
like
took
to.
us this many episodes to make up the Jesus joke.
Yeah, that's true.
Why
Yeah,
is that
it
Oh,
just now coming? Why
it took a while.
Jesus? Jesus.
yeah,
Hey,
I've never heard
Zeus.
that one
Ah,
before. It's all original to me.
like when you
But
say it so fast. Jesus.
Hey, Zeus.
What?
yeah, yep, I've heard it a few times. One might
Have
say,
you?
oh, a
Damn it.
million maybe.
A
Is that a
million
few?
Mm,
times.
Yeah,
damn.
yeah.
Hmm.
But coming from you, Desiree, it was brand new.
Heh. How do you say how do you how do you say wait. How do you shit, I forgot the joke. Never mind, go ahead.
All right, so tonight, Mike is finally taking the
Oh,
reins.
I remembered.
Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
What is it? What is it?
How, how do you say fish with no eyes?
What?
What?
Psh.
That's so fucking
I
bad.
love that. That's so horrible.
Psh. That's I
I
know
love it.
it's I
No,
was
that's
trying to
great.
make a dumb joke
Yeah,
That
no,
was
that's
because of
fantastic.
you
Jesus.
succeeded. You succeeded.
Yeah,
That was a
no,
dumb
That's a
joke.
good joke.
that is a good
How do you
joke.
say fish with no eyes?
I got a bad joke. If I can reference it in this episode, it's one that I use with my patients
How do you catch a
sometimes.
bra?
How?
Booby trap.
This is
Okay.
great, man. It's
All
already
right.
my
Well, I've
favorite
got I've got a
episode.
bad joke that I'll save for later in the episode. It'll
Mine
it'll
are clean.
encapsulate what I do with my current job. But so we were gonna do this episode a few
Jobs.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's on.
Jobs, get one.
Yeah.
What's
Speaking
that?
of jobs,
Yeah, we held off for a little while because of the Charlie Kirk incident, which you will actually get a whopping 3 episodes that have Charlie Kirk involved, and if you just base it on his name being said, then 4 with this one.
yeah,
But
He has been laid to rest.
yes,
he
yes,
has
he has.
been.
R.I.P.
But so yeah, so Mike was going to do it like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then we were like, you know what? Maybe we talk about something a little more topical because work's always there. It's always there.
It's
It's
always
always
there. It's
there.
always there, man.
It never leaves. Um,
Never.
never. Um, so we're going to talk about work. Mike, if you want to elaborate on how this process will go.
Yeah, yeah. So, here at the Friends of Zeus podcast, we're always working to come up with new and interesting topics for our viewer. And this is one it's not just me, we've talked about this one before. Um, and just talking about work, right? So there's a lot of, and work, I mean like jobs, things that you do
Trabajos.
to earn a living, right? Things
Yeah.
could be a career. It could just be a way to make some money to pay some
Could just be
bills.
that job that you
Could
got right
ju
now.
could just be the job, whatever. Um, and not just like the specific job or jobs that we may have or people may have, but just work in general as sort of a societal construct and what it means in your life to have a job. There's people who find a lot of meaning, personal meaning in their work, where their work almost is their life. There's people who have a life in spite of work, right? Where it's like they don't appreciate their job. It's just a means to an end, and they may have something else in life that gives their life meaning, and the job is just a necessary evil. So it's a huge topic, and I'm not really trying to constrict where we go with this. Um, but I just wanted, there's a couple things that I just find interesting personally about the whole ideal work. And that is at its base, work, you are trading, like each of us, not just on this podcast, but each of us as human beings, we have a certain amount of finite time on this planet. We don't know how long it is. For some people it's 10 seconds. For some people it's 120 years or whatever.
But
Most
about
of
a third
us
of it is work.
but most of it falls between that. And during that time, we we take a lot of that time and we trade it, right? We work, we get a job, we get trained in something, or we do manual labor, or we consult, or we do whatever, but we trade our time for money, and then we take that money and we spend it on things that we choose to that bring value to our lives. Whatever. It's everyone on the planet does this, and everyone on the planet has been doing this for the 2 million years that there's been
Not everyone.
people on this planet. Well, in general, yeah. Not we can get into that, but in the you know if you go way back, way 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 back, um, work was hunting hunting creatures that were
It was more about sustaining life.
roaming around. You were like farming, you were like doing whatever, you were doing work, you were basically doing things, you were spending your time now for the benefit that you would get later, right? So,
And you weren't
you know,
necessarily getting money, but you were getting
some
things
It
kind
you
was
of
more
needed
of
to
a
benefit,
live,
barter
food,
barter
or
oriented thing.
barter, or
Yeah.
like I said, sustenance, whatever you
Yeah,
want to
like well,
call it.
for instance, I'm not gonna go as far as caveman days, but like there was a period when somebody who maybe made clothes, that was more about survival,
Hmm.
like being able to withstand the elements. And then society came into effect, fashion became in effect. So suddenly, instead of wearing, you know, slacks and a furry coat, you're now wearing ruffled blah blah blahs and
Or,
uh
or,
bodices, and is that how you
or
say it,
if
Desiree?
bodices,
Bodices.
but Zeus,
I think the word is bodice, but yeah.
to your point, if we were cavemen and I made some outfit that kept me warm in the wintertime,
Tiger skin and two leaves sewn
and
together.
I and I did that for myself, and you were like, Mike, I want
Me
thing
like skirt.
two or whatever. And I was like, well, I've already figured out how to do it. Zeus, I'll make you one of these things too, but what are you gonna do for
I'll
me?
need 3 leaves though.
And and you're like,
Me need three leaves.
well, I can do this thing for you, and then I do this thing and we trade or whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
that's how this all got started. I mean, the definition, just to start this off, the definition of work is an activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result, right?
that didn't seem like you were reading at all.
I know. It's well, I put it on the inside of my classes here.
Those are
Um,
meta glasses.
so I guess where I want to go with this episode is like, what is our attitude towards work? Like in modern society, is it something that, and I'm not, we can talk about ourselves, but if you can like expand it to people or surmise other people, is it something we do freely and because we love work and it's like, oh, by the way, we also get paid for it, which is great? Or is it something that is something we do begrudgingly? Does it vary over time? I mean, obviously, the jobs that we had when we were like, say, 17 years old versus the jobs we have now, it's a huge difference, right? If you work at McDonald's, it's kind of a means to an end, right? You're sacrificing, your friends are all going out and having a good time, and you're flipping burgers and you're getting paid so you can put gas in your car so you
But
can go
see,
do
that's the
something,
thing. Some
So you can drive your
people
friends around
so you can drive your friends around.
and then
but
not give you
but
gas money, but
Versus a
you were cool.
career which is something where, and I think you guys, both of you, would fall into this, where it's a career, but it's also a calling. I think just from what I know from you guys get a lot spiritually out of what you do. It's not just
Well,
punching a clock, but again, you guys can speak to that.
in answer to that, our jobs, we have the luxury of we are earning money and we're earning decent paychecks, but the nature of our job is to give back. And I think Des will agree in our line of work, when you get those people that are just there for the paycheck, it pisses you off.
There's a difference.
It's
And what
it,
what is your line of work? Just
I'm not even saying you guys pick on me every time.
so you guys are both
Jesus is a nurse.
in the medical field.
Yes. Um,
Desiree is also a nurse.
Yeah,
Harry,
Two
is
very
that
different
different
Desiree.
types, but
Two different types.
you guys both both help people. You both deal with people that are
yeah,
in
it's a great place
who
to
are
be
not
where
in
you get
good,
to,
like no one you guys deal with want to see you, right? Would that be fair? Like no one you guys deal with are like
well,
happy to be in
nobody
this
goes, boy, I
situation.
sure hope I
Well,
go to the hospital
you got
today.
to realize that me and Zeus, we are two very different nurses. Like,
Very different.
very different. Like,
100%.
Not
there's
ain't neither one more important than the other. We both have our
no,
aspects. Yeah. Um,
Right, but totally different.
and they intermingle sometimes. I'm sure maybe you haven't had any psych nurses on your unit, but I've had plenty of cardiologists and the such on our unit because of comorbidities of the medications, and
Mhm.
most of these people haven't been treating their bodies what would be considered very well at all.
Mhm.
Um, what I wanted to say though is if I were to advise anybody with a job, and this is an old adage, so I didn't come up with it or anything, but find find something you love and make that your job, and you'll never work another day in your
In your
life.
life.
Hmm.
It's not completely true because now we've got all this bureaucracy in the workplace, but if you can find something you at least enjoy when you're doing the task and not following the orders, you're going to have
Hmm.
a much better existence. It's going to be more synchronized with your actual life. Like I like helping people outside of my job. So it was very easy for me. My only regret is I didn't do it when I was 20. You know what I mean? And that's something we could touch on is like where our values for work were when we were in our 20s, kind of a what would we say to 20-year-old Zeus?
Jesus.
Quit smoking that, go
Jesus.
do some work. You know?
Yeah, she's
Jesus.
cool.
Well,
But
how about you, Desiree? Like, do you for your job, how do you view it? Is it like I get a lot out of this like spiritually, if you will, and oh, by the way, I also get paid, or is it like I do it for the money and I also get some good feels? Like, what's that breakdown
So,
for you personally?
I'm not going to sit here and say that nursing is a calling and I was drawn to it. I'm not going to act like that.
Hmm.
But I will say this is how I got into the line of work that I am in. I as I've discussed before, my dad died of a heroin overdose. And
Hmm.
so I wanted to save lives. I didn't know how. I didn't know how I was going to do that, but I wanted to that's what I wanted to do.
That was the driving
That's what
thing.
I wanted. I wanted to find something where I could save lives somehow. Um,
And
so
and you
and
do.
I found that, that's what I do. I've achieved my goal. I have hands down saved lives. I My hands have touched a human heart before. Like
Yeah.
I've saved lives.
you've touched our
Maybe
hearts
not
too, Desiree.
maybe not have been like the ultimate person that saved them, but like I have had many of
Help.
hands in saving lives. And so
Yeah.
that is fulfilling for me because that's what I wanted to do. I get to do that every day.
And not just for the person, but for their loved ones. And I mean, it spirals out from there, right? I mean, if you're dealing
Mhm.
with a particular patient, and you as well, Zeus, it's not just that person, it's that person's parents, children, spouse,
Coworkers,
brothers,
friends.
sisters, I mean, and those people don't get talked about, but they have to be appreciative. I mean, that's so immediate, right? I mean, isn't that immediate? I mean, That's
Though,
amazing.
actually, I'm going to argue that that's not
It's a
always the case with what we
I have
do.
saved lives. I have literally saved a life and have never, they don't even know I exist.
Yeah, that's
Wow,
the
because
point
they're
that
like
I was
what,
going to
not
get at.
conscious, or
They're either
they're,
not conscious. Nursing is a thankless profession. I mean, let's be
but
honest.
they know that they were at that hospital. They have to have some, yeah, they may not know you personally. I get that. But
Right.
they,
That's fine. I don't do
yeah,
this for the,
Glory.
the
yeah.
there's a word that starts with the C maybe. I don't know. Um, I'm not clout chasing. I don't need
Right.
awards. I don't need I don't even need a thank you card.
No, no, but I think that in our particular line of work is kind of built into our personal psyches. Sure, we like to get appreciation, but we don't want it necessarily from the patients. In my particular case, I don't get to see them. So I've maybe in the beginning I was hoping I'd get a call and, hey, thank you for helping me out so much. But as I went on, it's more about the appreciation of your coworkers and their acknowledgement that you are good at your job versus rewards from out. I mean, I've gotten people hitting me up on Facebook, like trying to talk to me, and we can't do that, so I just disregard it. So we're kind of it's in the nature of the job that you can't really become friends. You can't give gifts, you can't receive gifts.
I guess
You
I mean
can't.
yeah, I have been recognized like on Facebook or like patient family members will like, mention you on like the hospital's website or whatever or stuff like that. Which and it feels good. It's
Yeah,
nice.
it feels, but
Feels great.
that's
But
not
that's
the
not why you do it.
reason. That's
I
not the
don't I
reason.
mean,
So I wanted to tell a little story because this is one of my better weeks at work. I know I've said it 1,000 times, but if you're just watching the show, I'm a psychiatric nurse. So my arena is Desiree's, I would say, is a lot of numbers, a lot of if then situations where my arena is a lot more theoretical, try 50,000 things, just spaghetti against the wall constantly. Um, but this one made me feel good. And I've used this tactic with patients in the past. So we have this guy, and I came in the other day, and he hadn't been urinating forever. And he's my patient. So I go up and I meet him, and I'm like, so I heard you haven't, been able to pee. And he's like, yeah, everybody, I think you all think that I'm being manipulated, blah, 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 blah. And I
And
incorporated an old prank back from, I mean, I didn't go to a university. I just went to a community college and then did bachelor's online. But I know it's an old college joke that when
yeah,
somebody's sleeping, you put their hand in cold water
I
or
thought it was warm
warm.
they
water.
pee themselves.
I thought it was warm. Yeah, but either way,
No,
that's
it's cold.
fine.
It's definitely cold.
Okay.
Oh.
But so I was like, all right, let me go get a basin. I'm gonna throw some ice and some water in there. And this guy was anxious as fuck. Real nice guy
Well,
outside.
yeah, you ever had to pee?
Yeah, yeah, no, no. But here's the thing. Real anxious. I actually touched him on the shoulder, like therapeutic touch, like, hey, we'll get this taken care of. And he freaked out. Um, Give him the ice bucket with the water. He comes back out 15 minutes later. His life had changed. He's giving me bro hugs. He's like, I can't believe it worked. You're the best. I'm like, nah, dude, that's just a prank we used to play on people.
Yeah.
Right?
So it
And
wasn't violent. He wasn't trying not to. He just couldn't.
I think it was probably not neurological, just anxiety. I think and that's where it focused. Like psych is so peculiar in so many ways. Like I said, you have to try a bunch of things. So I gave him a list of other things to do. Like there's another one you kind of pull on the hairs down there, and that'll help you
Ah,
pee. Well, but whatever. It seems to work because
I
it
threaten them
works.
with catheter and then they go.
Well, that's the thing. I don't want to give a catheter, so when they can't pee, I go down the list because I
And
do
that's
not.
last. Yeah.
I'm like,
Uh,
oh, do you want a Foley?
right. Well,
Because I'll put it
here's
in.
the interesting thing. He told me that he had a catheter in him for like a week, and that's why
Mm,
he thinks that he was just
mm.
like bugged out by it. which makes sense in a metaphysical way. I can see where that could come there. But that was like I've used that tactic before and it works like a charm. And it may not even be the cold water, warm water, whatever. It could just be a whole psychosomatic thing of this is going to work.
Or it's
You
different,
try
right?
this. And
I
he
think
and
it refocuses your attention, but
right.
Like you think it's going to work, so
Right. And
can it
so
work?
I'm not claiming to be some scientific genius, but I've done it before. It's worked in the past until it doesn't work, and I'll still do it again because my numbers are pretty good with this tactic. But yeah, it flipped his whole psyche around. He's less anxious, brighter affect. Affect, if you're not aware, Mike, is like how they present with their face
Hmm.
and how they present in general. Yeah. And I just, that's like when we're talking about you got to love what you do, man, I get such a high out of doing that thing that changes them in a positive
Yeah.
fashion. And in psych, it's a lot more apparent than I would say than in Dez's job, where, you know,
Although it's more immediate with Dez's job.
yeah,
well,
yes, yes,
the thing with me is a lot of my patients, they're thankful that they're there. Let me back that up.
like breathing,
Not a lot of people want to have a heart attack. Not a lot of people
Mm-mm.
want to go have
not
emergent
me.
heart surgery.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people want to have that. Not a lot of people want to get their a wedge resected out of their lung because they had to take the cancer out.
Or
Not a
have
lot
their
of
Mm.
people want to
chest
do all
open to the
this.
world for 3 days.
But after they're done, they're thankful for they're
That they can
usually
be
thankful
thankful.
that they're there
Yeah.
because they didn't die.
Yeah.
So for you two, and again, this is more of a broad question for both of you, do your opinions for yourself, and then a secondary question of what your perception is for just people in general. How much is your job part of who you are as a person versus
A hundred
a
percent.
means to an end to make a living? And then what do you think it is for the general population? Just there's no right or wrong answer, just but what's your perception?
I mean, I am I don't think I could ever do anything else.
Yep.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, it is who I mean, it's a lot of it is it's who I am. Like it makes me feel good that I can say like, yeah, I'm a CBIC nurse. Like
Hmm.
it makes it that it is part of like who I am. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a CBIC nurse, you know.
Yeah.
Um, do I think that every nurse, no matter where they work, thinks that way? No. Do I
Hmm.
think that every person that has a job, hey,
Not at all.
I'm a wife, mom, and a McDonald's cashier. Like I don't
Hmm.
I mean, you might love working at McDonald's. You might love being a Walmart
But
greeter.
you could be also be going for manager. Like
But
you
is
could
it
be
is
Yeah.
it
striving
like
for the best at that
I
position.
guess what we're saying is like to Desiree's point, like is it part of your identity? Like do you
To me,
take
for
it as,
me, yeah.
100% for me.
and I would, yeah, and I would agree just knowing you guys how I know you, yeah, it is when I think of each of you, that's like it's not the first thing, but it's like second or third. You know what I mean? Like that I think about.
But like take somebody like Craig, so my
Hmm.
husband. He's not I
Enamored.
wouldn't say that he identifies as a freight broker, but he more is a salesperson.
Right.
So like he could do any job that requires sales.
And
Doesn't
be
have to be
fine.
that job.
Yeah.
Does that make
Well,
sense?
and it's
And
interesting that you made that connection because something we should also look at is like the jobs we've had and have they led us to where we are now? Like,
Well,
for
hold on, Mike.
instance,
What do you
oh, I'm
let's talk
sorry.
about what Mike does.
yeah.
Sure.
So so I'm not, yeah, I don't it's funny. I don't view what I do for a living and what I do remodeling like highly custom uh
And were
high
you
e-
college educated for this?
high end. I was college educated, but not for this
Right.
specifically.
That's my
Right. I kind of like gained this skill on my
skill.
own. But so I consult with people for like residential remodeling, mainly like high end stuff, but also it's kind of hard to explain, but I would say about 65% of my clients are like, I got this thing, it's a problem, I need it fixed. And then I got like 35% of my clients who it's a huge, important thing in their life. Like people that are going through life changes where, either their kids are
They need a
gone
walk-in
now.
shower now,
Yeah,
all of a sudden.
they had some catastrophic medical issue that they need to deal with, or, they recently lost a spouse, or, they're um they had some they had a fire, that like destroyed a ton of their
So you do
possessions.
restoration
And
too?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's the worst. I don't like doing it, but I
Yeah, I
mean,
actually just went
I
out and
like doing it, but I don't it's hard. It's hard
I
to
think
do
I would
that.
just let it all burn and fuck it. I mean, if part of it's burnt,
It's
just
just
it's interesting the connections because Mike just went out and looked at Jason's
yeah,
business. So like it's neat how sometimes our work
can
interplays with our
cross.
lives.
Yeah, I
Like
mean
Mike's asked me questions about psych or nursing, like back
anyway.
when. Oh, go ahead. I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
let him go. Let him finish.
oh no, no, I'm just saying
Oh,
there's certain projects that I do that are just like whatever. And then there's other projects that have a huge effect on people's lives. And I take a lot, again, from when we're talking about like how do you identify or what do you get out of your work. There's certain projects I've worked on in my life where I'm like, that really made a difference to this person. Like this was
Yeah,
like a huge deal for them. It's not all of them. I mean, a lot of them are just like whatever, um,
luxuries.
luxuries. But I've worked for clients who, I mean, this one that I'll just bring this up because this was not that long ago, but it was a couple that had bought a house. They had moved from Oregon, and a few
say that again.
months,
What state?
Oregon,
Argon?
Oregon,
Is that what you said?
Isn't that the
Isn't it
Strider from Lord
oil?
of the Rings?
Argon oil?
Oregon.
Organ.
Um,
Orgon.
but just
Organ.
a few
Organ.
months, and they had
It's like a
some.
organ, like a kidney. An
How do you
organ.
pronounce it? How do you pronounce it?
Organ. Or
Oregon,
shit, I don't know. Organ. I just say
Oregon.
organ. Or fuck, I don't know what I say. Organ.
well,
3 syllables.
Well, they had just moved here. They were young couple. They had three kids, and like
What's
six
that
months,
city? It starts with a P.
Portland,
Just call it Portland.
Portland. But like 6 months after they moved here, the husband was diagnosed with some sort of horrible cancer, and so they had called our company to do like different restoration in the house to remodeling to like
Did he
make it
have cancer
easy
in
for
his
him.
organs?
He did. Well, he didn't last that long. So we came up with this whole plan
No.
to suit him. But before we could even get started, he passed. And I
That's
mean,
sad.
Organ failure.
the kids were like 5 and 7 and 10 or something like that.
You didn't survive the Oregon Trail?
Yeah. God, you guys are
We're
horrible.
done. We're done.
So my
I'll
point
see
is,
myself out.
Don't
My
speak
fucking
for me.
Uber's here.
my
Goddamn.
my point is, we were like, okay, we're gonna let this lady out of this contract, and she was like, no, 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 no. She was like, I want to do this the way I want to do it. Like,
You would have wanted a walk-in closet.
and so we completely changed the whole design for what she wanted, and I mean, it was a huge. Like, it's weird being with someone that, I mean, when you're working in someone's home, there's a intimacy to that because I mean, we're in people's houses for like 4 or 5, 6 months.
Yeah.
Like we get to know them and we get to know their kids, their routine and all that stuff. And so those are the ones that, again, for me, I take a lot out of that. 65% of it is just like crap, right? Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But there
Well,
are
and I
ones
think
that
that's
I
the
really
same
get a
thing in
lot out
our
of.
I mean, not every single patient am I like, ah, fulfilled.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
and also, Des, to that point, a lot of our reward is a lot of optimism. Well, he left and I haven't seen him back. That could either mean that they killed themselves or died
Well,
horribly
that's
afterwards.
not how my
Well,
optimism
no, no,
It's a
works.
little
but
different.
not yours, but maybe they died. What I'm saying is that them being gone, you have to hope for the best, you know? I hope my patients don't come back because they went on to live fruitful lives. You hope your patients don't come back because they got the message that they got to treat their heart kinder. You know what I mean?
Or they got the surgery they needed or whatever, yeah.
Right,
Well,
right.
also, a lot of this, I kind of turn around and it's like, how do we deal with people that we deal with that are doing their job that we don't know about? You know, I was about two
Oh,
weeks
we deal with a
ago.
lot of other people doing their job.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm just saying in our own lives. Like about 2 weeks ago, I had lost our cable signal or whatever. So like I
How
called
did you survive?
Verizon. I know,
Did you call
well, we let it
cops?
go for a few days, and I'm on the phone with this guy, and he's obviously not, in America. And I was like, this always happens on Sunday, like when it's football. And he's like, oh, I understand. And I'm
No, you
like,
don't.
he has no idea what I'm talking about, but he was very
Football.
helpful. He was doing his best. And I was like, this guy's doing his best. And I'm sure he has to deal with 99% of people he deals with are just effing this and effing that. So I tried to be very chill. But I mean, the people we deal with that are, plumbers, electricians, bankers, people that work at the MVA, police, fire, all people that work at restaurants, uh, people that banks, all these people that we deal with every day, they're just our neighbors, right? They're just
Hmm.
other people that we deal with, and they have their own jobs and they're doing their own thing. And it's like, are they, is this the most meaningful thing in the world to them? Probably not. I mean, it's not to me. I mean, I'm kind of jumping a little bit here, but I wanted to get your guys' perspective on.
If tomorrow you could not be a contractor
I would be fine.
anymore, I would be devastated.
I would be wrecked.
If
I
I
would
could no
be,
longer, if I could never be a CVICU nurse again
I
But
would be fine.
in
I
but
mean,
we're
some
not if
capacity.
I couldn't. I mean, not if it was like taken away from me. Um, but here's the thing. And just to jump out of like the spiritual to more practical, for me personally, I mean, I just know a lot about this stuff, man. Like I
Yeah.
can build a
And yeah,
house. Like I've been doing it
same.
for so long. Like when I talk to people, like my clients who I consult with, it is rare that someone throws something at me that I don't completely have an answer for. Like,
Hmm.
and if I don't, I know who to call and get the answer for. Like
Hmm.
that's a
I'm at a
huge
point
thing in
in
every job.
but I'm just saying I'm at a point in my career, in my experience or whatever, where I am a I am a subject matter expert. Like there's literally nothing that people can throw at me in my job where I'm like, oh man, I've never seen that before. I've pretty much seen everything. And there's a comfort in that. But the flip side of that coin is if I don't want to do this anymore and I'm 53 years old, and Jason and I talked about this actually when I was like meeting with them last week
I'll
or
be
two
back in a
weeks
second.
ago. It's like what could I do? Like I'm almost like too old to get into something else. Like I'm so far down this path. I know so much about it.
Hmm.
Um, that's where I make my bones. Like that's why I'm valuable to companies because I know what I'm talking about. If I wanted to shift careers,
And sell
I
cars or something.
I
I don't know.
don't think I could do it. Yeah, I'm kind of like that ship has sailed. I either do this or I work at Starbucks.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, like with somebody like Craig. Craig, as long as it doesn't matter, it could be Bic pens or it could be fucking Teslas. It does not matter.
He
He
can
could
sell it.
sell it. He could sell it. It don't
Yeah,
matter. So for him,
which is a huge skill because that is transferable across a lot of different industries.
yeah, so like he doesn't have to necessarily be in that job. But,
Yeah.
he could, so like tomorrow, he could be like, okay, whatever, I quit, I get fired, the shit burns down. He could just go sell whatever the fuck's next.
Yeah.
Me, I could not go be, first of all, I would never be a neuro ICU nurse, no. But I couldn't, I mean, I could go do like trauma ICU, but I don't know how to do that. Like I could do it, I could learn, but I already know how to do this job. So why would I, you
When
know what I
did
mean?
that when did you cross that line, would you say, in your career, in your life? Like where it was like I've proceeded to the point where I have so much invested in this that there is no more retreat to something else. So is that recent? Was that a while ago?
I would say probably about 6 or 7 years, like where I really felt like learning something else at this point would just be like, why?
Like a waste,
Like,
not so much a waste of time, but like you're not going to get the benefit out of it with the time because already have so much invested in what you're doing, you know?
yeah.
I mean, I do want to get into like specific jobs we've had before.
Well, let me
And
ask you this. Do
yeah.
you do you work for yourself or do you work for a company?
So I have worked for myself. Right now I work for a company and and mainly again I did what I do now. I did myself with a friend of mine as a partner, and I've worked for other companies. Um, I got to a point where I didn't want to wear a lot of different hats. Like there's a certain niche that I'm very good at, and I didn't want to wear a tool belt. I didn't want to do things, climb on roofs anymore or things
Be a
like that.
punchless guy.
So
You
it's
just want to do
more,
bathrooms or
well,
something. I
no,
mean,
it's more just like my knowledge. Like I just know things, so I direct other people to do things.
okay.
I don't have to do it myself anymore. I just tell people what to do,
Yeah,
or
that's what Craig did before
manage
he
other
was in,
people.
well, he was always in sales, but he built houses before this. And so he was kind of, he was like the contractor. Like you don't do the manual labor,
Yeah, I used to do the manual labor. Like when I was in my 20s,
manual labor.
I did the manual labor. Um, and I learned a lot of stuff. And part of it is I love like historical buildings. So that's kind of my niche. And living outside of DC, a lot of the projects I'm working on are, I do a lot of work in Capitol Hill, like a lot of those. I mean, I do a lot of work in homes that are like 150 years old and things like that. And I know how they're
That's
put
cool.
together, and I know the techniques that were used, and the
Hmm.
type of remodeling we do is um like when we're done, it looks like it was always like that. It's not we're doing things the way people used to do it.
Hmm.
So that's a huge thing. So
It,
it's definitely, as I've gotten older, I use my brain. I
It's
mean, I
not like
don't.
you rolled up on a house. Whoa, that's a new addition.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It looks like it was always like that, but 90% of my work is brain. Like I don't,
it,
99%. Like,
Ah,
oh, look at you. I don't do like physical. When I was younger, it was mostly physical. Now it's like almost all mental. It's not
well,
physical. And
I wanted to touch.
you can see the results of that change. Now
well,
you
the
can
reason I
see what
asked you,
happens.
the
Yeah.
reason I asked you if you worked for yourself or you've worked for anyone else is because I think that beyond the whole, what do you get personally out of your job, out of
Yeah.
your, you know, how fulfilled are you at your job? The thing that kind of eats it at, like just takes a little chip out of that all the time is your workplace.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're all working for the man. There's always a man to work for.
There's that. I wanted to get into this. This is great.
Well,
Yes.
before you go too far, I wanted to touch on two things. First of all, the more autonomy that you have with a job, really, really is like
Yeah.
why you're happy to go to work. Like when
Mm.
you can go in and you got your tasks, you do your tasks, and you're again, as I said, you're enjoying it. It makes
And
it
there's
for
no managers breathing down your back.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I
Well,
have
in our jobs, it's a lot of them. They're not
Make
breathing
shift,
down your
make
neck. They're
shift.
just you're on your own, and if you have to ask a question, they're a resource. And that was the other thing that I wanted to get at because you touched on it, but I think it's a really important thing. Is I think Des will agree with this. I may not know the answer to everything, but I know who to call to get the answers for
that's
the things
me
I don't
too.
know.
Yeah,
And that is
exactly.
so
It's
well, you were
key.
mentioning that, and that just resonated with me. It's
Yeah.
like I may not know anything about MRIs, but I know who to call and find out about
Hey,
MRIs.
dogs can't get a MRI, but cats can. Huh.
Oh man, that's fantastic.
Rah, 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 rah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's another one of the
let
great
me.
jokes.
I love that.
Okay, we're gonna segue real quick. My bad joke
Yeah.
involves the job, and when I get a patient that's really depressed, I go, all right, I'm going to tell you a bad joke, right? Try and get something out of them. That's a lot of it with the depressed person. When you get them to smile and maybe laugh, you know that you're heading in the right direction. And my favorite joke, I tell it to everyone. It's my bad joke, and then I always tell them, now you got to give me one tomorrow. But my bad joke is a ham and cheese sandwich walks into a bar
Mm.
and says, "Give me a scotch on rye." And the bartender looks at the ham and cheese sandwich. He's angry. And he says, "We don't serve food here."
That's
Nice.
funny.
I like that.
It's kind of a good bad joke, but
It's
it,
it's so
it doesn't
bad.
work all the time. Some people have to get the
It
creativity,
gets some it gets
but
some thinking. It
yeah.
gets some
How do
thinking.
how do you weigh a millennial
Oh.
in Instagrams?
Oh, jeez.
God, did you
That's
get a
Anyway,
horrible.
notebook or is this
hashtag
your
dad
common
jokes.
jokes?
I actually made that one.
Well, I mean,
Anyway,
one thing, like as far as I don't know, like I would if I won the lottery, $100 million tomorrow, I would happily quit my job and I would not feel bad about it. Um, so it's not something that I'm like, oh man, this brings all this worth to my life and all that stuff. I mean, to be honest with you, one of the things I love about my job is I don't have office hours. I don't have to be at an office. I do have an office at my company's office. I have a home office. I I don't have to be anywhere at any time. I make my own schedule. It's all results oriented, so I don't have to be anywhere at any time. I make my own appointments. I make my own schedule. I don't have to take vacation. I just can block off my schedule whenever I want. So I love that. And I drive around. I can be in the office. I can be outside of the office. So that's fantastic. And that really fits my personality because I couldn't just sit at a desk and I couldn't just like always not be sitting at a desk. So that's great. I mean, that works for me.
you got to wear a
Um,
hard hat on job sites, though. That's like a
cert
rule.
commercial stuff I do. But I look at if you look at like our country and you look at like say communist countries and the concept of work and you look at the communist concept of work, which is what like uh, each according to his ability, to each according to their need, right? Um, and I don't know that that works necessarily, right? I mean, because the people that have the needs may be able to work, and the people that are able to work, it is nice getting a paycheck, right? I mean, it may not be the only reason we do it, but if we didn't get a paycheck, we probably would not be doing what we're doing. Is that correct? Would you guys agree? Would you do it for free, what you're doing?
That's a
Maybe
sticky
Okay.
question
not,
because,
maybe not as
I don't
often.
know. I'm just saying.
well, for me, it's more about I'm
Is
not a
it is it a
particularly
means to an end, or is it part of
it's
the
a little
meaning of
column
your
A, little
life?
column B.
Okay.
For me, I'm not. I'll be honest, I'm not a particularly industrious person in all my life,
Hmm.
but when I'm at work, there I think this will make sense that your industriousness applies there more than at home. You sit at home, watch some TV, play some video games, drink a couple beers. At work, there's more of a laser focus. These are the tasks that I need to get done to feel as though I've accomplished something today. Um, Oddly, even though I don't feel as though I'm terribly industrious, I start to go bonkers when I'm out of work long enough. And I get Des is
Yeah.
the same. We get 4 days off, and by day
You're
three, I kind of want
texting.
to get
So what's
back.
going on? What's going on?
Yeah. It's
What's that?
almost like too
Give
long.
me the hot goss.
Right, right. Well, and
Is that
to what
patient
you were
room one
saying
still there?
Yeah.
to what you were
What
saying
happened to
earlier,
that
Mike.
dude?
Um, to what you were saying earlier, we spend enough time at our jobs that I know a lot of people would disagree with me. Um, but that's kind of another family of sorts. Maybe not,
Hmm.
you want to have them over for dinner, da 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 da, but it's like this other section of your own personal microcosm. It's where these days they don't want you to be social anymore, but so what? I'm still social. But you get interactions from other people's things that are going on in their lives, maybe even learn something about something that happened to somebody else that helps you in your life. So I think work is important to fill in those gaps that we would otherwise be resting on idle hands, which, as we know, is the devil's playground.
Devil's Playground. Yeah.
So I think there is a lot to be said for the interactions that you have at work, and I think that is there. Society is trying to drive that out of us to a certain degree with all these nonsensical rules. Having to pay too much attention to um, feelings, and I don't mean that it's necessarily bad to understand other people's feelings, but I think we've kind of personalized our workplace to a point where there's a graying of that difference between work and home. You're kind of dealing with the same interactions now at work, where you don't want to offend this person or you don't want to overstep a boundary. Like work has definitely changed over the years for me. Like I remember a time where if you were capable of doing something, you just did it. Now you have to do 6 modules. You have to
Yep.
you have to jump through all these hoops, and you already know how to do it. They just want to put, for lack of a better term, politicize
You have
it.
to do the modules.
Mm.
Right. Which
You
is
just,
cut and paste,
which
cut and
is
paste, cut and
play
paste.
'em. Just play it and walk away.
Hmm.
Well, I think
But anyway,
so. I had a, this was years ago. I had a friend, a so good friend. Um, and he's an interesting guy, like not doesn't didn't have a typical job. He was an editor in Hollywood for TV shows. He did a lot of editing of TV shows, and he got to the point in his life, he's our age, and he was like, why do people wait? Is life or is work part of life, or is work in competition with life, right? And why do we wait until we're 65 years old to retire and e- explore all this free time with this money that we have and do these things? So he was a big proponent of like micro retirements. Like he would take a year off and like go live in Indonesia or whatever. He wasn't married, had no kids, so it was easy for him to do that. Um, but he was a big proponent of that, and there was a time in my life where he really got in my ear, and I actually took a year off, like in this was 2012, I guess, or whatever. It was after this period that I met Zeus, actually. Um, where I
And then
just
his
took
life changed for the better.
yeah. So I left a job, and instead of getting a new job, I just didn't get a new job. And I traveled. I went out to LA. I did all kinds of other stuff, whatever. And and burned a lot of cash. It costs some money to do that. But I really felt, and I still look back, that it was a very good decision. I got a lot out of it, and I kind of like detached from the rat race. And then after a year or so, I got back into it again. And that's when I moved to the building that where and met Zeus. So I to me, it's like there is always this. It's to me, work and life has this kind of relationship, and I don't want it to. But for me personally, it always is in competition. Like, this past weekend, my family and we went camping for 4 days. Took our daughter out of school on or yesterday. Took her out early on Friday and like went camping for a few days because to me, I value that more than I do uh missing a day of school or missing a day or two of work. I don't know that that's healthy. I'm just saying that's my own thing. That's why I'm interested when I talk to you guys. I think it's nice to have work and life be in tandem as opposed to being adversarial.
Well, yeah, I mean, I hate
But
this
I mean, to
term.
me, it's adversarial. I mean, personally, I mean, I
Yeah.
love my job to an extent. I love what I do, but like I said, if I won the lottery tomorrow, I would never do it again. I would just walk the
I
earth, right? I would like go and do other things.
I would like to think that I'm noble enough that if I won the lottery, I could keep doing the job because it means so much to me. Um, I think I'd find ventures that were more like fully rewarding, like it's just about giving back. And again, as Des and I think we were in agreement that we have the luxury of being able to give back and getting paid pretty decent for it. Like everyone on this show right now, I can't speak for everybody, but we're all doing okay, financially. And that's a big thing is like, again, I hate the term work-life balance because it just seems to dumb it down too much, but
Hmm.
the more money you make, the more you offset the time that you can spend doing things that you enjoy. Um, Oddly, I don't
Well,
take
yeah,
a lot
I
of
couldn't.
vacations.
I mean, I'm saying I couldn't have taken a year off, right? I mean, that was a financial decision.
Hmm.
I mean, I couldn't have done that if I was a slacker, right? I mean, I still had bills to pay and all that
Yeah,
stuff,
I get it.
but um, it's like you can't take it with you, right? I mean, all these people that are like, "Oh, I've got all this money." I'm like, "Okay, you get hit by a bus tomorrow." I mean, shouldn't the goal be to like spend everything? Or no, I mean, or
That's my
not?
goal.
Is that horrible? What do you think that's your goal? I mean, to
I
me,
like
that's
to leave something
reasonable.
behind for my kids.
Well, okay, so you got that,
Yeah, that's
but
what life insurance is for.
beyond that, I mean, you can't take it with you, and life is life, right? I mean, life isn't work.
No, no. I mean, maybe, you want to talk like ministers, things like that. They are truly engrossed in their work, and it is part of their life outside of work.
Yeah,
Outside of those things that are very, very focused on what they do. Um, I don't think really anything outside of like religion,
but
you get that 100, almost 100%. I'm giving back totally, and I do this when I'm not at work. Like I don't nurse at home. I probably, I utilize
right.
some of my skills in my interactions, but that happens to be what my job is interactions.
And it's
Mental.
all and it's also kind of I can see how it's kind of arrogant to be like, well, I don't, you shouldn't work if you don't like it or whatever. I mean, there's people that worked in coal mines for like 50 years, right? And it wasn't a choice. It wasn't like, man, I love working in the coal mines. It's like because they had to. So,
But
for
also, if you're good at coal mining, it does become more rewarding. If
I guess. I mean, working in a quarry, or I mean, there's a lot of crappy jobs out there, man. That people are like, I don't like this job. I mean, my father, when I think I was probably in high school or whatever, and I can't remember the exact context of the conversation, but what he was trying to tell me was like, it's a means to an end. Like
yeah,
work is a means to an end for him, and that was his perspective, and I get it. And he grew up in a lot harder time than I did. And he wasn't like working his job because he felt like, man, I love doing this. It was like I gotta provide for my family. Like that was his perspective. And that's kind of still his perspective. I
you
mean,
know,
yeah,
I was gonna say something I wanted to touch on is like how we evolve into where we're, at least for our ages now, how we've evolved into what we do. Like my first job was, I think, working at Domino's Pizza, like
this is what I want
circa
to get into.
95,
Yeah.
or no, circa 85.
Well,
What am
hold
I?
on. Let's go. Can we go back to the point I was kind of starting to make
Yeah.
before we get to
Mhm.
the fun part?
Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter if you work for yourself, because even if you work for yourself, there's
You
always a
gotta please
man.
somebody.
There's Uncle Sam at least, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's your employees that you anyway. So it seems like there's always, no matter how fulfilling your job is, no matter how much joy you get out of it, the rewarding portion, the part that just eats at you and just takes a chip out of that happiness is the people above you.
Mhm.
Do you
Yeah,
ever feel like that? I mean, I know you do. I mean, I know you do. I do. That's
yeah.
that's nurses. That's the story of nurse's life. But
Like, are you working for them, right? Are you working for them? Like, are you working for someone else versus working for yourself? Is that what you're saying? Or,
no, I'm just saying, like, that's the part of work
hmm
that, to me, it's not me going punch the clock doing the job. That's not the part that eats in my soul. It's the top down shit rolls downhill.
Yeah.
And it tends to be that the
Something,
people in the
always a new
higher up,
rule. There's always some new shit you
And
gotta do.
and these are people that are probably detached from the end user, right? That
I mean, even what you do is just somewhere out of nowhere. There's just like a new building code,
yeah.
or like some new person you gotta talk to get a fucking permit for a job.
somebody's
That you
palm has to be
like,
greased.
who? Why do I
Well,
have to? Why do I have to do this now? Like,
there
why is this different?
there's a joke in my industry, like because I've been doing this since like the late 90s, where it's like in 1998, a two by ten Southern Yellow Pine
I
hem
think I've heard
fir
this actually before.
joist would span like 8 feet, or 12 feet. And then in 2005 it spanned 10 feet, and then now it spans like 8 feet. Like the code, even though it's the exact same thing, the codes keep changing, and they keep getting more and more and more and more restrictive, almost to the point of absurdity. And it's like there used to be a thing of like there's the practical, and then there's the code. And so when people are like, "Oh man, why is this so
Like, this the way you're supposed
expensive?"
to do it, but this the way I do it.
Or
Oh
this is
yeah.
this is this is what would work, but this is what your municipality requires. And a lot of times it adds 20, 30, 40% to the price, even though
Adds
it's
time.
completely not necessary.
Yep. It's just somebody somewhere decided that they needed to
Correct.
make it better, but it
But
didn't
Oh,
30
make it
years
better.
ago, it was acceptable. But
and
now it's
We
not
never
generally,
did this
acceptable.
before. I
Yeah.
don't know what.
generally, at least in our industry, 9 times out of 10, the stupid new rule that comes up is somebody justifying their job, and it has no realistic application to what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like just arbitrary rules that somebody, like I said, needs to justify their
They
existence.
needed something to do, or it's like what?
Right. They're so separated from what we do that
Well, I think the more separated you are from the end user in whatever job, whatever career, whatever profession you're in, um, I think that's sad. I mean, I like dealing directly with the person that I'm dealing with. I like, and you
But
guys do
whoever's
too,
making the rules, did did y'all ask if that was gonna work? Like, did anyone
right?
ask and see if maybe
They don't
that's
ask.
not that, you're I get that's your job to make the rules,
But
but maybe you should have asked if the application of that rule was gonna work. Like,
it's
if there
Or
was
it,
does
maybe
it
a better
cause
way to do
does
it.
it cause worse than that? Does it cause you more work than you had before?
Always.
And
but
is it more effective? If it's more effective and it's more work, sure, fine. But often it's things like for with us. So we have techs that generally walk around and do Q15, which is every 15 minutes they check on the patient.
Mm.
And then, like, for instance, where I'm at now, the nurses have to go around every hour and check on the patients as well. But hey, we hired these people that we should be comfortable with relying on to check on the patient. So maybe we don't do it every hour, maybe we do it every 4 hours. And for me, that all comes down to insurance. That's
mhm.
like somehow that's helping the insurance to say, well, they weren't checking on them every hour. So if the person
Something
died, or
isn't.
yeah,
Something
just
somewhere
a lot.
happened.
Well,
And
I
then they make these blanket statements like I don't know. That's the part of the job. That's the part of a job. It doesn't matter what it
That's
is,
what makes it
who it's
work.
for. What makes it miserable is the freaking rules,
Micromanagement.
the
everyone's
micromanagement.
everyone serves somebody, right? I mean, I mean, one thing I've learned, and we did that episode a long time ago about like giving advice to your younger self, and I
Yeah.
think from my experience in life, the advice I would give to anybody in whatever job you're in is have a clearly defined person that you report to. Like, know who that person is. Like, don't just let it be ambiguous. And understand yourself, what is motivating that person,
Hmm.
and help them. And that will make your life much easier because it's like if you are working for someone and you know that the metrics they're being measured on are XYZ, and you are conscious of that, your life is going to be a lot easier. You know, you're going to get along a lot better with that person. I mean, that's a bureaucracy, right? I mean, everything rolls uphill. I think that
Downhill.
I know, but I think the interesting thing with the three of us, even though we're in different things, is we all deal with the end user. We all deal, and not everyone does. There's a lot of people that have jobs that they're like 7 levels away from the person that
Oh, you get that with us
is
too.
being dealt with, you know? But you
Yes.
guys
So,
are dealing with the end user. You're dealing with the patient. You guys
And
are dealing with the patient.
that's what chaps my ass so much about what we do is generally speaking, the people above us did what we do at one point. And how they've separated themselves from what we do to enforce some of these arbitrary rules is disappointing because it's like you've been here.
You
You're
should
really going to
know.
try and push this off?
whiteboards is one of the bigger ones that I guess everyone will understand because people even that don't work in healthcare have heard about whiteboards and heard the joke. Administration is so goddamn concerned about their fucking whiteboards in the room.
Yeah.
And if I
While
have to hear
meanwhile,
bucket list one more time, I'm going to lose my fucking brains.
meanwhile,
Well,
I'm like, oh, does the patient who is in this
Buckets, I'm
room,
sorry.
who is not even conscious, who is intubated, sedated, has no fucking idea, they're half dead. Okay.
wow.
Does it matter that my name's on that board?
No.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It does not.
Yeah.
I walked in this room and started working.
Right.
I don't even know what a fucking dry erase marker is. You want to find me one? Like, that is not what I'm concerned
Oh,
about.
you're talking
Why?
about like what's in the room where people write up who the nurse
Yeah, you
is
have
and
like your name and the
oh
nurse's
no, I've
name, the
seen many
doctor's
of
name,
them.
and like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
maybe what time your pain medicine's due. It has a bunch of area. Everyone's slightly different, but it's all the same concept.
Yeah.
But so the
No,
patient
I've
knows
seen
like what's
those
going
many
on.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. If the patient was like able to participate in
But
their
the
care,
thing is,
fine.
even if you are, I mean, again, as a patient, someone that's had two hip replacements, I mean,
Can you
people,
even see that board? It's
you
far away.
may a little bit, but people just kind of come in and out. Like you just get to know, like it's not
Yeah.
like that. Like you don't need to know their whole story.
The patient is
Um,
not calling and it's not like, this nurse did not put their name on the whiteboard, so I'm
yeah,
complaining.
Oh, and
it's
that
all
happens a
fine.
lot too. Nobody putting their names on shit.
Well, one thing, not I know we're getting a little late in this, but I
Anyway,
want to have a little bit of fun.
okay.
Um, if to see if anyone has any like job horror stories, and not current jobs, but I went back and I just made a quick list. I may be forgetting some, and this is I don't know if this is horrible or good or
I
normal,
got a
but
good one.
the job that I have right now, I made a list. It's like, and I could be forgetting some, so it's at least this. This is the 20th company I've worked for. Is that a lot? Is that a lot of
Doing the same type of job, like being a
No,
contract,
no.
like a,
So this
oh,
would be, let's see,
In
one,
life,
two, three, four, five, six, seven. So this is the eighth. So I had, this goes back to high school though. So this is like, here's what I put: McDonald's, Ponderosa Steakhouse,
yeah.
Pizza Hut, U.S. Army, uh, a theater chain in Baltimore called Durkee, Drexel University, another Pizza Hut, video broadcast services at Virginia Tech, another theater, Blockbuster, and then 84 Lumber, a home builder, my own company, another home builder, remodeler.
well,
But
it's good that
20
you.
companies, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, my uncle Joe, he graduated from college. He went to work for IBM, and then he retired from IBM, and then he died. I mean, he worked for IBM
Yeah.
his entire life. That was the only job he ever had.
I haven't had that many jobs
Yeah, I've had 20.
either. I've at Burger King
20
was my first
jobs.
job. BK, have your way.
But don't you learn a lot in a fast food? I mean, I've worked for fast
Dude, I
food.
think every person needs to have either a fast
100%.
food or a serving job or both.
Or waiter, yeah,
Yeah, like
waiter,
any type of
waitress.
serving job.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Burger King, then I worked at Michael's craft store for like 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
And then I worked at Sonic for like 2 days. And then
Yep.
I worked at Pizza Hut Cafe for like 2 days.
Were you
Those,
were you
I
like
mean,
they said something you're like, screw this, I'm out of here? Because I've done that. I've worked like three places for like half of a shift before.
I got fired from Sonic. That's the only job I've ever been fired for from. And I got fired because I had to call in because I had strep throat.
Oh.
It's
Wait,
not
did
my
you have to be on
fault.
skates? Don't you have to be on roller
No, you
skates?
just no,
Oh,
you
okay.
could if you wanted to, but
Okay.
I didn't even know they kept the skates.
Okay. So
But
you were
yeah,
sick and they fired you for being
yeah.
sick. That's
Because I was
horrible.
like, I had called in too much or whatever. I was fucking sick, dude. Anyway,
Well,
so I had those three. Like those three, I don't really those are just like 2 day jobs.
How
And then I
many?
had my Pizza Hut cafe job, which I worked maybe there for like a month.
Yeah.
And then I worked at this place called All Star Adventures.
Yep.
It's like a little theme park here. I worked in the
Oh, I forgot one. Yeah, Frontier
well,
Town.
I mainly worked in the kitchen, like the snack bar,
Yeah.
because that's where all the cute girls worked. But then in the winter, I would work in the ticket booth and it was tight because I could sit there and do my homework all the time. It was tight. Sell
Nice.
tickets to these kids and these tokens. Um, but then after that, I got my job at Hooters and I worked there
Hmm.
forever.
Yep.
And then for a little bit, I decided to get this job at a place called Hereford House. A steakhouse didn't work. I worked there for like 2 weeks.
Hervard.
Hereford, Hereford
Hereford.
House.
Okay.
I worked there for like 2 weeks. Um, I had a job at a wine bar
Hmm.
for a while. And then I got a job at Twin Peaks, and then I got my hospital job. Oh, I worked at a like a home care plus
So
situation
so you're like
one
almost a
time.
dozen. You're like close to a
Yeah,
dozen.
but a lot of those jobs like I didn't even have that long.
no, check. Thanks.
You
So
know?
how about you, Zeus? Did you
I'm. Let's see.
how many
I
jobs did you have before you got to where
If
you
you
are.
want to talk about throwaway jobs, that's a
Yeah,
whole.
I'm talking about all of them. That's what I did. Yeah.
Then
These
I'm
weren't
probably in the
careers.
20s,
Yeah.
but I'm probably in the 20s, but so many of them are like real throwaway jobs. But like,
Yeah.
so, and here's the other thing. I
Dude,
started
I was a
working.
test subject for the US Army. That was one of my jobs. Anyway,
Um,
continue.
I see, here's the other thing. I don't know about you guys, but I started working when I was like 15, 16.
15. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
yeah.
I got a
Same
job at
here.
Burger King at
I was
15.
young when I started working.
Yeah.
That was at a Domino's.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Did
all
you
I
just
know is
deliver the
is
pizzas or
Karate
did you
Kid
make the
came out
pizzas?
at the same year that I started there, so that can tell you when I started working. Um, then I worked like with my dad's friend for a lawn service.
Hmm.
Then lazy for a while, didn't do anything. Went and worked for Wendy's for a little while, probably about 6 months.
Hmm.
Shortly after that, I was part owner in a carpet cleaning company, and that was actually pretty damn lucrative because we were like, make up your prices as you go.
Yeah.
We made some decent coin for being an 18-year-old. Um, Joined the army.
Army.
Um, yeah, I got out of there, and then pretty much, and oh, I think I had like a telemarketing, what do you, police benevolent association, like real
Yeah. Yeah.
shady, shady.
Yeah. That's
um,
fine.
like
It all counts, man.
whatever way you could make money, you get them to give as much as you could, and it was all like this was back
That
in the
Oh, I
days where
Spia.
forgot one.
the bosses would like say, all right, if you guys raise $1,000 today, I'm gonna buy a case of beer, we can all drink, and we're all like 15, 16 years old,
I didn't
you
need a
know.
documentary about those. I can't remember what it's
Yes,
called
Yeah.
right now.
yes, I know the one you're
Is that the
talking.
place? Is that the place? Well, that
It
type of
was along
place.
those lines. That was one of them. Um,
It's like Wolf of Wall Street, man.
a little bit,
Yeah.
not as lucrative. Um, Then pretty much in part of the carpet cleaning company is I've always been a good salesperson. And I think that was what I was trying to get at is I think we evolve into our jobs to a certain degree. Even like Des with what you did, there's some psych that's involved there. There's some learning how to treat people. Like these are skills that you use later. Like for me, sales is much more like you can see the direct connection between sales and psychology. It's like hard to even argue. If you have a good psych brain on you, you can flourish in sales. And I did for a long time. There's a point I was working for this place called Icon Office Solutions up here in Virginia,
Hmm.
and I was selling $1 million a year in printer toner. Like
That's
Hey, that shit's
great,
important.
dude.
I hate when the
Yeah.
fucking toner goes out at
I
work.
made bank
Dude, if you're selling a
paper.
Fine.
million dollars, I mean, that's good.
And then after that, I worked for this place that we bought lottery annuities for about a year, maybe 2 years.
Call
Uh,
J.G. Wentworth.
oh
It's
yeah,
everything
exactly.
fashionable.
Yeah.
It was pretty lucrative too for a while, but at a point, I just sales was I felt like I was selling my soul. I actually, when I quit Icon, I worked for another company where they hired me on because I used to sell to them, and they're like, well, so I come on and I work for them for like 3 months, and the guy that was a manager tried to take all the credit for the sales that I made from another company that I was selling to from Icon. And I was just like, screw this. So I waited until I got this one big sale. It was like the first month I was there. I sold it's like $20,000 printer and a contract. And then this guy tried to take all the credit. And I was like, no, you know what? Fuck you. And then when the boss said, why don't you want to stay? I was like, because that guy's an asshole. And he's like, well, what if we give you a higher position and more? And I was like, no, I can't work with that guy. He's an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then after that, I worked for Kaiser Permanente, which we're all from, at least we've heard of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I did that for like 10 years. A lot of these jobs were multiple years. I tend to stay places.
Yeah.
Um, I worked there for like 10 years, and there was a point I was doing like what we would call like pre-triage, like asking questions that you didn't necessarily have to triage, but it led you to a triage kind of situation. Like, say somebody calls up and says, my baby can't breathe, but you hear the baby screaming in the background.
Mm.
Well, they can breathe. So
Right.
my job was to noodle that out and get the real ones to the nurses. And I worked there for a while, and a lot of the nurses, I became really good friends with them, and they're like, "You're not in the right position. You need to get into nursing," and the
That's
rest is.
awesome. Yeah.
And
But
then I
is
worked
it,
for a state hospital, and now I'm working where I am. I've had a few like PRN jobs, which is like as needed, where I was still working my full-time job, but I could go there and get a couple extra shifts and
but
make some.
wouldn't you guys agree? I mean, when I look
I
back at
forgot. Hold
my,
on, I forgot one.
yeah,
I worked for like the Kansas Department of Labor as an unemployed individual one time.
What was that? What did that
as
involve?
As an unemployed
as an
individual.
unemployed, I was a paid actor for a time as Doc Holliday at Frontier Town, which I think I've mentioned before. Had a real gun that shot real blanks. But anyway, listen, but don't all of these jobs, I mean, at least for me personally, even the scrub ones, like working at 7-Eleven or like I got something out of all of them. Like
Mhm.
they all helped me. I mean, even the ones that were like just totally crappy. Like I look back and I'm like, yeah, I learned
Oh,
this or I learned that or whatever.
I did
Yeah.
another job, and this is one of my
I don't think
proud.
I learned shit working at All Star. I worked there for like 2 years too. I didn't learn shit working there, except for it's
So
hot outside in the summer.
In the summer.
And
I
I
worked for this
made maybe
place.
I learned how to make cotton candy real good.
Well, that's something.
Not a
Yeah,
life skill you need.
but it's something. I'm just saying.
So
Anyway,
I work for this place called United Air Temp. You might have heard of them, Mike, in
Hmm.
this area.
Yeah.
And this is one of my proud moments. So where it's kind of the company struggling, and they come in and they just clean house, all the managers, and they had three black guys that were in charge, of the phone room because I worked a lot of phone rooms. And they fire all three of them, and these are my buddies. And then they pull me into the office, and they're like, "Hey, we'd like to offer you a management position here."
Oh, geez. After they
And
just fired everybody.
I literally stood up, walked out, and said, "Fuck you!" Like literally said, "Fuck you." I was like, you're not gonna
Fire
fire
those
friends
guys.
who taught me.
Yeah. And
You want to
then
give me a
bring,
job alongside them? That's a different story. And yeah, so that was a proud moment. I
you
stood up.
know, now that you talk about, here's another point that I don't know if you guys have experienced this at work, but the bonds that you have with your coworkers. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, nursing, we have, because, we're all always in the church, but like the kind of like stuff that I've done with other people, like that I can just, we don't even have to talk. We
mm,
just know, like, I give you this thing and you take the thing and you do the thing, and then you give it back to me and I do the thing, and we don't
yeah.
even have to converse
yeah.
because we're so like,
On the same page.
we're like trauma bonded.
Yeah.
Well, and there's also the fact that we're
Yeah.
all trained in very, very.
No, it's different. It's different. It's different
But if you work
because
with the same
you have
people,
a
yeah.
connection. Like
Yeah, it's kind of like a hive mind.
for
Like,
example, one of my good best friends, her name is Kate. So Kate got fired, unfortunately, for a really stupid reason, unexpectedly from the unit that I work on. I cried. Like I was devastated that because we were like trauma bonded. Like
Yeah.
I still to this day, this was like 4 years ago,
She's like your
3, 4 years
sister,
ago.
man.
Like
Yeah.
I like sometimes I'm just like, God, I wish Kate was here. But
nursing is an
it's
interesting
crazy.
nursing is an interesting job in that if your friend leaves and goes to another hospital, it's actually a consideration that you might go and work at that other hospital. Other jobs
Yeah.
aren't quite like that. Like anything. Like you
You
work at
can't,
McDonald's, you're not going to go work at
yeah.
Wendy's.
Yeah.
But
You
like
if you leave, I'm leaving. Don't
Yeah.
leave me here. Don't leave me here by myself.
And there
Like,
is to the trauma bonding thing, there is a camaraderie in nursing where, like, you will go work with them and you will go as a team and you will say that this person, you got to hire this person too. Like
yeah.
legit.
Yeah, like there's not a lot of people that I mean that I've stuck Yonkars in an open abdomen wound vac to suck blood out of as they're coding a dissected aorta. Like that's not a lot of people
That can,
You do that
You know
yeah,
with.
what? I
That's a
capitalized on
bond.
it. I've
that's a
in the
bond.
past 9 years that I've been doing 8, 9 years, something like that. I probably made about $50,000 in referral bonuses because that's how tight I was with other people. I was like, "Come here, work with me. We'll get to work together." There's something. Nursing is a very interesting field.
Right, but what I'm saying is like the traumatic shit that I see in my specific line of work.
Yeah.
Again, it, I code people all the time. I
Yeah,
mean, yes, I save a lot of lives, but I
code people
can't save
too.
them all, you know?
Yeah,
Just
they go on their
the
way.
people that you experiences those traumas with that you can't because you can't take that trauma home. You gotta at some
Oh yeah.
point in nursing you learn
Compartmentalize.
like your first couple will stick with you, but then after a while you gotta kind of learn to compartmentalize it or it will eat you alive.
Yeah,
So the people that you experience those traumas with, you are like you have a different connection with them. And it's like it makes me emotional, like thinking about how deep and powerful that
it
connection
makes
is.
sense.
Like,
No, that makes complete sense, Desiree. I mean, of
And
course, it's like the what they used to say, like the trench mentality, like people that are in the trenches together,
yeah,
right?
like I'm
They're
sure like people that are what do they call it? Like when you're on the same squad in the army. I don't know what's called.
yeah,
yeah.
What's it called? Brigade?
platoon.
Yeah.
Platoon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like and you go and there's a difference
you're a
when you're at boot
team.
camp,
You're a
but then
team.
you go to war with those people and you come back and you are
Yeah,
forever
you're different. Yeah,
forever bonded to
and your
them.
relationship is different.
And like in my aspect, it's often like that patient that was like going bonkers and you had to give an emergency med to help them calm down.
Yeah,
And I
My
truly
line
mean
is
that.
somebody has to
What's that?
calm me down because I have to gown up and I'm about to have to open this chest before the surgeon gets here. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
like that kind of like
You got to focus.
ah. Anyway, I just wanted to
Well,
bring that up because that also as much as the shit rolls downhill,
I think
you
they
the
always
call
have people
that
to keep you
Desiree. I think
grounded.
they call it esprit de corps. Like the team working towards a single goal. Um, anyway,
well, well now the check has arrived, and but
Let
yeah,
me tell
it
you a funny
is.
work story though. Let me tell you a
Yeah,
funny work story. Okay. So, I think actually I think I've told this one before. You know the nurse phones, Mike?
yeah.
yes.
The bling bling
Okay.
bling bling bling
Oh
bling
yeah, I
bling.
had one under my butt one time.
Yes, the one on your bed. Well,
Yeah,
I
How'd they
had
find it?
I found it.
bling 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 bling.
Yeah.
Um, so I was going to the bathroom at work, just a number one, not a number two. And I had the phone like clipped like for some fucking reason the pants I had did not have any like it didn't have any front or back pockets, it just had cargo pockets anyway.
Yeah.
So I had it clipped to the back of
Waste.
my pant, like my waistband, like to the back.
Mhm.
Like not maybe like mid cheek area. Anyway, so but these are shitty phones and so the clip ain't doesn't clip very good. So I went to the bathroom, the phone was still clipped to my pants. When I stood up, I did like a pulled my pants up, turn around, flush, all in one motion.
Oh
The
man.
phone popped off, fell in the toilet.
Yeah.
So I was
The
like,
When
whatever.
did they
the
find it in the toilet
The
later?
phones, the toilet, I swear will flush for 7 minutes straight, and still the toilet paper will be floating in that in the end. Like, what the fuck is happening? You know, those industrial
was
toilets that, like, for some reason will not flush the paper.
but the phone was gone.
So I was like, whatever, I'll just fucking wait until this damn thing stops flushing and I'll reach in and get it. The water's clean at that point.
Right.
Mhm.
Whoop. Nope. The toilet took the phone. And I was like, oh my God. Shit. And I was like waiting for it to like bobble back in. No,
No,
it did not.
no.
And I was like, oh my God. Oh shit. So I go up to the church and I had been working in the unit for like maybe a year at this time at this point. So I go up to the front and like I was just gonna tell the charge, but the manager was up there too, and I was like, oh, um, hi, I don't know how to say this, but I just flushed the phone down the toilet. Oh,
Well, technically you didn't because it's probably an automatic toilet, right?
No, no,
Oh,
I
It's just
did it.
all the way it
It was just
happened.
one. It was just
Yeah,
I don't know how I
the way it
didn't do
went.
it on purpose. I was like, I'm sorry. I don't know what to do.
the phone snuck into the
And she's
toilet.
like, well, I guess we're just have we'll figure it out, I guess.
Call the plumber.
Yeah, so well what I did the thing I failed to do is I failed to put a sign because I didn't think about that this was going to happen. I didn't think that somebody was going to go away because you always poop at work. Always poop at work. I was not pooping. I was actually leaving. I was like peeing so I could leave.
Right.
Somebody goes in there after I went in there because on the unit you have your number one room and your number two room. But number two room can be used for one and two. But you don't ever do number two in the number one room. You know what I'm talking about,
Oh,
Zeus.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but number two room is back bathroom, and mostly everyone just uses that. So somebody went down there behind me and did their morning business, unknowing that I had flushed the phone and clogged it. At this point, I mean, there's a phone in there. I didn't,
so now it's
I,
a poop
sh
phone.
I should have got a paper and said out of order, stuck it
Yeah.
on the door,
Telephonic disorder.
Yeah.
temporarily disabled toilet. I don't know. Well, that person goes to the bathroom, does their business, flushes, does not flush because it's
It's
clogged.
a poop phone.
So well, I don't know because it never went. It was how in toilet clogs it raises and the poop
Oh
goes out.
yeah.
So I don't know.
That's like one of the few times where you have to think we have some control over time because when that toilet starts overflowing, time slows down. You're just like, maybe I can stop it. You're like,
And then it
well,
sits
Shit.
here
And
for a little bit, and
you're
then
going
you're
through
like, please
every
go down, please go
possible
down, please go
stop
down.
it from overflowing that you can, and it never
Yeah.
works.
Anyway, so they had to take the toilet off the wall to get the phone.
nice.
And they sent the phone to Biohazard
Mm.
so they can clean it and return it to the unit.
Now, now that is the nice thing about working in a corporate environment. Like, they didn't charge her for the plumbing. You work for a
No,
small
you can't.
little mom
Yeah,
and pops,
that wouldn't
they
be
might take
fair.
it out of your
No,
check.
I said, I'm going home. Bye. Sorry. I flushed the phone. I told her,
Have
please,
fun with
bye.
that.
I gotta go. Been here for
Well,
too long.
well, I don't know if we accomplished what we set out to accomplish, but I think this was a nice episode
It was
about
fun.
work. And
Throwaway maybe, but it was fun.
not that Hot Carl is here, but I think it
I think
may
it's
be
about time
about
we
that time we
wrap things up.